Hey guys, welcome to TST Garage. I'm Bart, and today in this video, I'll be showing you how to install the TST Industries brake light modulator on your bike. Now, a brake light modulator, sometimes called a strobe, sometimes called a brake light flasher, what it does is basically enables you to install some electronics on your bike so that when you press your brakes, the brake light flashes in some kind of pattern and alerts the drivers behind you that you will be stopping. Our particular brake light modulator comes pre-wired to a plug that interfaces with a sub harness that we provide specific to your bike model that enables plug and play functionality with your bike. So that means that the installation is really fast and you can do it yourself. Now, the electronics inside, we do have the ability for you to program this unit to 3 different functions and then subsequently adjust the rate of the effect to your liking. Our first programmable mode is strobe-alert. This mode will produce 9 flashes and then stay solid for the duration of the brake engagement. Second one is intermittent pulsar. Each cycle will flash 10 times and then pause. And then these cycles will repeat for the duration of the brake engagement. The last available option is pulsar, and this one just basically provides continuous flashing for the duration of the brake engagement. Now we will show you how to install this. It's really simple. And then after the installation chunk, I will show you in detail how to get inside here, how to program the different modes, and how to alter the rate of those different modes. We did think about the safety of such devices during the design phase. So we decided to design this in a way that it will be a pass-through component. In case you experience a failure on board here, it will just pass through your normal brake function, which means you press your brake light lights up, there's just no effect. In case you do experience that failure, we do offer a warranty, so we have guys standing by in our support department that will take your call, email, Facebook message, whatever, and we'll get you replaced. And that's pretty much it. Now, I'm really excited to show you guys just how easy this is to put on and configure. So let's get started. For this presentation, we procured a brand new Yamaha YZF-R7. We're going to be using a vehicle-specific harness and obviously our brake light modulator. This installation is very minimally invasive. Let's hop up top, take the seat off, and let's get going. Let's identify the taillight connector. It is right here. My hands are quite too big to press on the locking element for the connector. It looks like this. It needs to be pressed pretty hard to unlock. So what I'm going to do is use a broad flathead screwdriver with support from the other side of the connector. And once I depress that locking feature enough, I can withdraw that connector towards the front of the vehicle and it just comes off pretty easily. So now we need to plug this connector into our sub harness and then our sub harness back into our tail light. Notice I'm putting it in the same configuration as the OEM plug was inserted in there. Now it's a matter of pressing firmly enough for the lock to engage. Okay, once it clicks, it gives you an audible confirmation that it is engaged and it won't come off. Now, I'm gonna distribute the bulk a little bit. Once I have a better idea of all the wiring with the modulator in place, I can possibly shove it down in the frame hole here above the closeout, but this is pretty good. It doesn't really obstruct anything. I'm gonna connect brake light modulator. This is only one way that it can go in. Again, it gives you a little click. So after watching part of the presentation that goes over the programming and the speed control of the effect, this is a good time in the installation to make all those adjustments before you cinch this down to the frame. I've identified this part of the frame to be safe for installation here, like so. From underneath, it cradles the body of the housing really nicely, and the housing presents this channel for our wire tie placement. It's going to look like this. That way it won't move out of place Going to get this around here and engage it lightly. Now get my modulator through here and place it in a way that this wire tie actually goes through that channel. And get that nice and tight. Cut off the excess. And now, let's see how the wires are doing. In this already cramped trunk, there's not much we can do, but there are voids in this frame tower that you could push connectors and wires into, and that way it'll alleviate some of the space obstruction here that we've created with the extra bulk of wires. And for the most part, you can make it pretty neat like this. That's pretty good here. I'm gonna go ahead and test this, make sure that we have proper operation before we close the bike back up. All right, so we do have proper operation. The last step will be to replace the seat, and then this job will be complete. For mode selection and rate adjustment, we will need to get inside this capsule to access the electronics. These two Phillips head screws will need to be removed. What I like to do is unscrew them until they disengage from the receiving threads and leave them in the cap. Otherwise, it's pretty easy to lose them. If we pull them off with the cap, they are self-captive. All right, now we'll identify the parts here. This button is the mode selector, and this potentiometer is your rate adjuster. Clockwise is faster, counterclockwise is slower. Let's first do our selection of modes. With the brake pressed, press the button once to toggle to the next available program. Now the brake does have to be pressed so that the unit powers up, otherwise you won't be able to make the selection. If you find that you've pressed the button but the selection has not been changed, just do it again with the brake pressed. So now we will go on to the next program, press the brake once more, press the button once, and now you're in the next mode. Now we've switched twice, so pressing it one more time will return to the original mode that your unit arrived in. Now for rate adjustment, we'll be using the potentiometer. With the brake pressed, we can turn it clockwise to make it go faster, counterclockwise to decrease the rate. Now in brake alert, you will only have 9 flashes to make your adjustment, and then it'll stay solid. This one doesn't actually lend itself to really fast flashing at the top of the range. Bottom of the range is unusable, so I like to set it somewhere towards 3/4 to maybe 80% clockwise, and that does it for me. Now if we change to the next one, this one is pulsar, and this one just keeps on flashing, so I like to have it going pretty fast here. Choice is really up to you. If you want to explore the next mode, we have the intermittent pulsar. This one to me belongs somewhere close to the top of the range, makes it the most visible. But again, freedom means choice. The decision is ultimately up to you. Once you're done with your adjustment and you're where you want to be with all your modes and rates, replace the cap, turn the screws back in, and it really is just that simple. Replace your brake light modulator in the space that you decided to keep it, and you're good to go.